Hey everyone, my name is Sheena Grove, and I am a high school English teacher in Iowa. I'm talking to you today because I've promised my students that I would be honest, that I would be vulnerable, and that I would do something about an issue that provokes me, that bothers me, and that issue is mental health. I work primarily with ninth grade students now. In the past 8 years of my career, I worked with 10th and 11th graders. And I have noticed a lot of things. But something that I've noticed is that a lot of people think I'm crazy for wanting to spend my day with teenagers, with 14, 15, and 16-year-olds. But I love what I do, and I love my students, and I think that they are the most fabulous human beings on this planet. And unfortunately, I think they are often underrated. I think they're discounted. I think that there is a lot of pressure that exists on them today that if people knew about would just floor them. But something even more important than that I've noticed is that they're really good pretenders. My students walk through this door every day, most of the time, with a smile on their face. They complete their work on time. They engage in conversations with their peers, with me, about what they're reading, about what they're writing, about their lives. But so many of them are not okay. Deep down, there's something bothering them. There's a darkness there. I can just tell. I can feel it. I can see it. And I want so desperately to do something about it. So today, I'm going to attempt to do something about it. I think that mental health in schools needs to be a priority. I think that we as adults, as teachers, as parents, community members, members of the government, everybody, we need to do something different than we're doing now, because what we're doing now is not working. There's an epidemic, and teenagers are losing their lives. They're taking their own lives because they're not okay, because they're afraid to talk about the way they're really feeling below the surface. And the reason that I see this so clearly in my students is because I used to be one of them. I was a great pretender. I went to school every day. I did what teachers asked. I completed my homework. I got pretty good grades. I worked hard. I joked. I laughed. I made other people laugh all the time. But I wasn't okay. Not even close. I grew up in a home where my father was an alcoholic. He drank a lot, and he was abusive to my brother, mostly, to my mom, a lot of times, to me, verbally especially. And they got a divorce eventually when I was 16. And to be honest, that was a really good decision on both of their parts. I think they are both better people. I think they're both happier people independently. But it doesn't change the fact that while I was growing up, I lacked a lot of confidence because of it. I wasn't sure what my place was. I wasn't sure how to feel. I knew that I didn't feel good going home. I knew that I was embarrassed. I knew that I didn't want my friends to come over. But I also know that at one point I lived in my car because I had pretended that everything was okay for so long that I was afraid to tell anybody that it wasn't, that I wasn't okay. But I also know that when I lived in my car, in order to cope with the feelings that I had and the emotions that I didn't understand, I cut myself. I did. I used the keys on my keychain and I dug into my wrist to the point of bleeding. And I have scars today to prove it. And I'm not proud of it. But the reality is that it was my reality at that time, and that it took my thoughts elsewhere. That even for a couple of minutes I thought about something besides my dad, besides the drinking, besides the fact that he wasn't at my cheerleading events, that he never really saw me play softball or volleyball or run track or dribble a ball down the court in basketball. That hurt a lot. And I think that I struggled to understand what I felt or why I felt the way that I felt. And a lot of my students are the same way. They have these feelings, and a lot of them don't know why they have these feelings. But that's okay. What's not okay is that we aren't talking about it as a society. We're not talking about the ugly parts of our lives, of our journeys in this world, and we need to be. Because until we do, teenagers are going to hide their feelings all the time, to the point where they find themselves in situations making decisions that are not good ones, simply because they're afraid to talk about it, because they feel like they're the only ones with those feelings and thoughts. But they're not, and they need to know that they're not. They need to know that we've been there. They need to know that we've all come from places of darkness sometimes. So my challenge to you is to do something about it, like I'm attempting to do something about it today. I'm being very vulnerable sharing my journey with all of you. But I think we all have a story to tell, and I think we need to be vulnerable in front of each other way more often. So please like this video, share this video, and make your own video. Talk to the young people in your lives, your loved ones, the teenagers that you know, your students in your classrooms. Talk to them about the times in your life that you struggled. Tell them what you did to move beyond it. Because I know I don't regret a single part of my past. It made me who I am. Was it absolutely the most difficult thing I ever did? Yes. Do I still think about it often? Yes. But I survived. And so can everybody else, if they know they're not alone. So, go out there and make a difference. I know you can do it.